Good afternoon, everyone. And namaste. Bye, Taj. I would like to welcome you all to the second annual India flag raising here in Revere. My name is Dimple Rana, and I'm a lifelong Revere resident and first-generation Indian American. My parents bought our house here over 30 years ago, and we've called Revere home since. Revere is a diverse city that has welcomed immigrants from all over the world. While my family was one of the first Indian families to move here in the late 1980s, this has definitely changed over the past 40 years, as we can see from our audience. Generations of my family call Revere home, as do many other Indian and South Asian families, individuals, businesses, and faith leaders. Not just from India, but also from all over South Asia, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Sri Lanka. I want to take a moment and recognize my parents, Lata and Jagdish.
Namaste, everybody.
They are here with us as well to celebrate the flag raising and the 75th anniversary of India's independence. They grew up in an independent India and the residual experience of colonial rule, where my grandfather had to flee Kenya when it became independent of British rule 16 years later after India. The British colonial rule in South Asia forced many indentured laborers to several African countries, also under British colonial powers. On the night of August 15, 1947, the first Prime Minister of independent India, Jawaharlal Nehru, said, "At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will wake to life and to freedom." These words aptly captured the struggle and happiness of newly independent India as it finally managed to free itself from British rule. And to mark this historic day, the Prime Minister hoisted the Indian flag above the Lahore Gate in Red Fort in New Delhi. This became a symbolic gesture and continues to take place every year on August 15th as India celebrates its Independence Day. I'm also excited to share with you 2 days ago that the U.S. Census Bureau released the 2020 census population counts, and that the city of Revere is now officially the fastest growing city in Massachusetts. With our population rising more than 20% since the last census a decade ago. The Asian population in Revere has increased by 5.5% since 2010 and correlates with national and state trends that Asians are the fastest growing racial group, bringing renewed attention to the growing economic and political power of Asian communities. I would like to thank the City of Revere and the Indian Association of Greater Boston for hosting today's event. As a lead up to India Day, IIGB has been hosting flag raising events in over 40 towns and cities across New England. They have been raising the US and Indian flags to commemorate India's 75th Independence Day celebration. And at this time, I would like to bring to the podium the IIGB Executive Committee Directors. First, we will have remarks by Prague Singh, followed by Narain, and we will also have a proclamation and flag raising. So at this time, I'll invite Prague to the podium.
Thank you so much, Dimple. Appreciate the words. I mean, really amazing. And what a beautiful sight. Look at this, and I see so many young faces. So just for you all, okay, it's a special Independence Day. Have you guys heard this? Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram.
See, I see some oldies joining me. Come on, you guys can join it too. Let's try one more time. Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram.
One more time. Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram.
In translation, it means I pray and I salute to the mother. India is known as Mother India, and that's where it comes from. Actually, hearing what Dimple had to say, I guess there is a very famous saying coming out of India, which again is in Sanskrit, the most ancient language, so I'll say it and then translate it for everyone else. It's called Vasudev Kutumbakam, which means the whole world is my home. And I don't think there could be a better town than Revere, justifying that. So beautiful, beautiful town. Just kind of expanding a little bit more on the story that Dimple was talking about. So IAGB has been in existence for over 55 years. We have been celebrating India Day in Hatchell or City Hall Plaza with 8 to 10,000 people showing up there. But last year was a shocker for all of us, just like it was for all of you. And so we kind of struggled a little to begin with that what do we do? It's a great tradition that we have maintained for 50 plus years. So what can we really do? And we started reaching out to towns. People like Mayor Rigo, thank you so much. So there are many leaders from the town that showed up and said, absolutely, why not? Let you tell us what you want to do. And we reached to Mayor and we said, we just want to raise the flag, and that's how we can celebrate in the best of the time. I mean, it's COVID, not many people can come together. So that tradition started last year. We started with around 28 towns, 30 odd, I guess, at the end of the day. And this year we have reached to 41 towns. So it's just been an amazing journey. We're loving it. And we can't say thank you enough to leaders like Mayor Brian Arrigo here to really giving us that opportunity to show up here. So with that, let me call my co-host, co-director Nurain, to give you a little more details about the thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Prague. Thank you, everyone. So thrilled to see so many of our Indians represented today. It is a great event for us to not only recognize our Indian flag, but more importantly, to recognize democracy. India is one of the biggest democracy in the world, and we are proud of it. And that is what we are here for, is to share that feeling of pride with the raising of our flag. That said, even though we are raising the flag in 41 towns, that started last year with COVID because we could not do or gather as a crowd. And that tradition from last year has continued now because there has been so much interest with many towns to be able to support that. So we are proudly showcasing our flag in each of the towns that allow it. That said, tomorrow we have a big event at the Boston Hatchell for 4 hours starting from 3 p.m. till 7 p.m. We will be showcasing a lot of our culture, our food, but more importantly, we will be representing our community there. A lot of our community were supporting the COVID initiatives, and a lot of the organization that supported it will be recognized tomorrow. Tomorrow also we have Mr. Viren Chaudhary, who is the CEO of Panera Bread, and he's better known within the Indian community for The Sky is Pink. Did I get the name right? And if you've seen the movie, you know his story, but come to hear more about it, about him, and of course his journey in this country and his family tomorrow. So we look forward to seeing a lot of you, most of you I hope, tomorrow at 3 p.m. at the Boston Hatchell. Just a quick thing about India Association. We are 13 directors that represent our overall community in New England. We just don't do, cultural activities. We encourage our community to be part of civic leadership, to be part of the towns and governance. So we encourage that. We support a lot of initiatives for our seniors. We also have a youth wing, and we encourage youth leaders to join us. We presently have close to 6 or 7 youth leaders. So we want to encourage youth leaders towards leadership. So these are a few of the things that we do beyond, just representing a community. So that said, I'd like to hand it over to Dimple and of course me. Thank you.
Thank you, Prague, and thank you, Noreen. At this time, I'm going to bring up our mayor, Mayor Brian Arrigo.
Thank you, Dimple. Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I do want to acknowledge our partners on the local level, our city councilors who are here with us today, including City Council President Anthony Zambuto and City Council Vice President Jerry Visconti. I'd also like to recognize Mark Silvestri, who is our Director of Veteran Services, and all of the folks wearing ambassador shirts today who have done such incredible work on behalf of the city. I also want to thank Executive Directors Narain and Prague for being here today, and of course our Director of Community Health and Engagement, Dimple Rana, for organizing this second annual Indian flag raising in our city. And our city, like the United States as a whole, has been sculpted generation by generation of immigrants who make their impression on our shared landscape. That constant influx of new energy and new ideas have allowed our communities to prosper and adapt in a very rapidly changing world. And so in Revere, this tradition spans centuries. And our rich, intertwined cultural fabric offers a bounty for all who have made connections to our city. And so today we gather to recognize not only the nation of India, which declared its independence from England on August 15th in 1947, after a long and hard-fought movement whose nonviolence would reverberate throughout the world. The example is set by India's many independence leaders and organized masses truly inspired some of our own country's revered civil rights movements. Indians and Indian Americans in Revere have inscribed themselves within our community. Owners of small businesses, faith leaders, neighborhood organizers, leaders of community groups in our city, and most importantly, neighbors. Neighbors who are willing to lend a hand and step up, and our community is certainly grateful that these neighbors call our city home. Coming together to celebrate one aspect of our city's diverse heritage fills me with pride. Our neighborliness, our dedication to improving the lives of our families, and our commitment to upholding the rich tapestry of our neighborhoods that have set the tone for a healthy community, and everyone in our city ultimately gets to reap the benefits of that work together. The Indian community has made our city even greater, and I'm proud to issue today a proclamation for the second annual Indian flag raising in the city of Revere. And I will read that proclamation. I hope you all bear with me. It's a little bit long. But the proclamation reads, whereas India is the largest free democratic country in the world, home of nearly a fifth of the world's population, and with exceptional beauty and rich cultural heritage, and whereas the Indian independence movement was led by patriots like Gandhi and so many others, one of their resistance methods was nonviolent protests, which became a model of the civil rights movements around the world, including the movement led by Martin Luther King Jr. in the United States. Whereas on August 15th, 1947, India regained independence from 200 years of repressive British occupation with civil disobedience and nonviolent protest. That movement became a new weapon to fight against inequality and injustice throughout the world. And whereas a youthful country on the verge of its 75th Independence Day celebration, modern India has shown an unsurpassed growth in education, in health, agriculture, and technology since its independence. And whereas India's Independence Day is celebrated by almost 1.4 billion people across the country, with flag hoisting ceremonies, kite flying, and parades. And whereas India has the largest diaspora in the world, and over 36 million of Indian origin live in other countries, with over 4 million people of Indian origin living in the United States and 100,000 in Massachusetts, who contribute greatly to the social, economic, and civic health of our nation and our community. And whereas India is a composite civilization, an ancient nation extraordinarily unique as a cultural mosaic of people embracing a prodigious diversity of ethnic groups, religions, languages, customs, traditions, clothing, climate conditions, and natural resources, and yet presenting an underlying unity. Now therefore, I, Brian Arrigo, Mayor of the City of Revere, do hereby proclaim August 15th as India Day in the City of Revere. And I'll present this to Noreen and Prague.
So at this time, I'm going to ask everybody to stand as we play the Indian national anthem and raise the flag of India.
नायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Play the United States national anthem. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, everybody. Jai Hind.
This is my mom, Lata Rana. She is always reminding me of our beautiful Indian culture. And so we have a couple of final remarks, but I also want to invite everybody who is here with us today to take a group picture of all of us who have been living here in the city, and to show that the Indian community is here. And we'll take the picture under the flag, but we'll just have a couple of closing remarks.
Thank you again, Dimple. Like Lataji said, first of all, Jai Hind. Jai Hind. Thank you. From the bottom of our heart, let me thank Town of Revere Mayor. Thank you so much. City Council President, Vice President, thank you so much. Our very own Dimple, thank you so much. And of course, everyone else who played a little role in organizing this one. Truly, truly appreciate. I mean, it's just amazing. And the crowd, you just made the day. I mean, thank you so much for coming in here. Take a lot of pride. And if I can suggest, right. And I think, Chief, thank you, Police Chief, for showing up. I mean, at the last minute, truly appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much. And thank you again. Do you want to take a picture right here, Dimple? It'll be an amazing picture, right? Mayor, is it okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I think all of us here on these stairs, let's make it one memorable one. Thank you.
Okay.